Howdy, all you delicious people. I'm here today to do what is to be probably part 2 of DC comic book collection. This one is to be much more focused on a much more certain character of Green Lantern, because it seems that I have way too many, of course, comic book things of this character. Even in the rando video that I had gone on to shoot before this, or may even get uploaded after this, I'm not quite sure. It had a number of Red Lantern books within that video, so if you are to be fascinated by both simultaneously Green Lantern and other shades of colors, I would go on to also have people probably check out that video, as well as also to check into this one, because you may just go on and find some interesting covers that you may not know of as far as Green Lantern is concerned. I don't know if this whole entire book is just Green Lantern, but I had thumbed through some of it and would see so many Green Lantern things, so I'm assuming it is to be mostly to be Green Lantern. So, anyways, first off, the very first book here, it seems to be around Flashpoint period of time. This is to be Abin Sur, the Green Lantern. This is first issue of 3. I had to pick this up because immediately when hearing Abin Sur had his own kind of book here, I was like, yeah, like this is right around the time where the movie, I think, was to come out. And I wanted to know more about Abin Sur, because in the movie they would set up that this character would be like a really substantial character of the Green Lantern Corps. And I had gone on to kind of see at some point some animated movies of Green Lantern, and eventually they are to at some point focus on Abin Sur. But like, I wanted to also read comic books of Abin Sur just to kind of see the many different shades of character that I can get here of Abin Sur. Of why he is to kind of have been held in much more importance beyond just him being the guy that had given his ring to Hal. And that be only the real importance of this character, because there was to be more importance to him. Here's to be 2 of 3 of the Abin Sur story. And this is right around the time of Flashpoint. Three of 3. We have Wonder Woman and Aquaman there. Now we have a thing that we're obviously going to get clickbaited into, because of course we are. Because this is The Untold Tales of Blackest Night number 1. Oh, this is a one-shot. Having Scarecrow become a Yellow Lantern. I think that this is to end up being Wonder Girl. I think I'd gone on to kind of briefly see this. What also kind of clickbaited me was at the bottom here, if you could see this character, that is to be Ragman. That's what really clickbaited me into this, of this cover. And then, of course, we have a White Lantern. I think it's a White Lantern. Yeah, because Black Lanterns, of course, have to wear black. But I'm kind of very, like, is that... I'm just kind of... Well, if they're wearing white, obviously it's a White Lantern. But I was almost to think that it's... Looking at the logo, I got a little confused for a second there if it was to go on and be the White Lantern. Believe me, it's the White Lantern. He's wearing white. Just get over it. It's all right. So we then next have Free Comic Book Day. This is Blackest Night issue 0. Issue 0, July 09th here. Obviously, Ooh, there's some address here. Maybe I shouldn't have that. But yeah, I was kind of clickbaited into this because of the cover. It looks really, it looks really awesome. So I was obviously enticed. Then we get Blackest Night number 5 here. This is Necron Rises. So I had a very cool looking book here. Black Lantern covers immediately. Most of the Black Lantern covers would end up being like the greatest covers, I think, in Green Lantern's history. If not, to be just like the story was so clickbaiting, and also the covers actually looked good. So all the more reason for you to check out Blackest Night. Like Brightest Day, like I think I have randomly a certain number of issues of that, but I never really cared about that story. I really just didn't. Ooh, Blackest Night. The Phantom Stranger, issue number 42. I was quite fascinated by the Phantom Stranger for how rarely he was ever used. I would go on, and I think in an episode of Brave and the Bold at some point, I would see both the Phantom Stranger and the Spectre in a Batman story. I'm like, okay, like, let's see how that plays out. And it kind of seems like the two of them are kind of placing bets against one another. And it makes for a fascinating story. And like whenever I was to go on and find out about like the Phantom Stranger being used in stories, I was just so interested to see those books just because he was in it. But like yeah, whenever they had this, it's just I don't know, like the books weren't that good. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like there's nothing that sticks out to me. Ooh, clickbait, clickbait here. Blackest Night, the question, 37. The question. Well, Blackest Night, but also, finally I have a question book that I can showcase to you. Yeah, I did care about this character. It was interesting to eventually see they had several different kind of runs of this character, several iterations, and also there was finally a time where Justice League made this character in the show. I'm not sure if it's Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, where they made this character really important, and they teamed him up with the Huntress, and eventually he had to kind of like solve I think this whole riddle of Lex Luthor, and yeah, like that whole story was really big in that story. Oh, we're starting to get into some stuff that I'd mentioned in the other video, where I mentioned how like I mentioned about Blackest Night, and how eventually they started to go on and they started killing characters and stuff of that nature. We have Blackest Night, Superman, number 1 of 3. And here's where Superman goes the dark side. We have a sign of Smallville here. I was like, okay. Alright. If you guys are gonna kill off Superman, I want to see how this all plays out. Because, yeah, I really wanted to go on and find out how they were gonna kill off all these key characters. Oh yeah, Brightest Night. Or Brightest Day. Instead of Brightest Night, Brightest Day. This is to be issue 0. I wanted to collect this because issue 0, at some point, I'm going to say when I started collecting comic books, like, I think my first brilliant idea, which is not so brilliant now when you really think about it, like, I was to just tell my dad, it's like, well, hey, what are you looking at when you're looking at comics? I'm like, right now, all I care about is just collecting 0s and 1s right now. And then after that, like, my thing was to just find interesting characters and follow up on their stories. So, like, there'd be some key characters that I would continue to just gravitate to, like Green Lantern's stories or Deadpool. I would find any random comic book of Deadpool because it would be easily a fun, goofy story. And I would just find these covers that just were so enticing, and then I would just keep collecting these certain things because of the covers over them being really key issues or not. So, and eventually that's probably where I probably wasted a lot of my money. So much of my money. Swamp Thing. First issue of 3. And this is to be Brightest Day Aftermath. The Search for Swamp Thing. So this was interesting to me because this was, again, another story where they focused on Swamp Thing, and Constantine was to be supposedly the focus of the story. So I was easily enticed by it because of those two characters. The whole red and green bit thing here really was to go on and attract me. To just be like, okay, cool. We have Swamp Thing, we have Constantine. All right, this is cool. Issue number 2 of the Search for Swamp Thing. 2 of 3. We have Superman kind of using his heat vision, and Constantine here. I'm trying to figure out the perfect angle. This is so dark, this cover. Search for Swamp Thing number 3. Dead Man Swamp Thing and Constantine here. All right. I think I'm going to pull out a little bit more of these. Okay. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull out this thick book. I'll pull out this thick end, so it gives a little bit more space here. Okay. Brightest Day, The Flash. First issue. So, surprisingly enough, I guess I do have a lot more Brightest Day than I thought I was going to have. I took to this cover. I loved the visuals of this cover. That cover, oh. Showcase presents Green Lantern, featuring the menace of the runaway missile. Missile that was yellow. I think this obviously has to be a reprint of a very classic early Green Lantern, and you'll see that I gotten this big huge volume book that'll have a cover similar to this, but not exactly the same. But yeah, and I'll show this here shortly because I will showcase these other books that I have off to the side here that are to be thick that I kind of pulled out early because I like to pull out early. That's a stupid joke. Yeah, I wanted to not only try to get a lot of Green Lantern as much as I can, but also I really wanted to try to get as best the early Green Lantern stuff as I could, even though they'll probably end up being reprints just for how just budget I am. Oh, before yeah, let's show that cover. Or let's show that book. Over 500 pages for only $9.99. Showcase presents Green Lantern. So this is the thing that I mentioned here. there's also a number of also other showcase things that have Superman's Metamorphos, which I like Metamorpho. He's actually a really cool character, and I didn't like him just because of the Superman movie. I liked him well before that. I liked him before it was cool. There's a Justice League of America showcase. There's Jonah Hex for maybe one or two of you that care. But yeah, but this is Green Lantern Volume 1. I don't know how many issues are on this. I'm sure if I opened up here somewhere, I'm sure it would say, but uh, yeah. So that's this. If you guys know enough about me, you know that I love me some Guy Gardner. Even before Superman movie, I liked him before he was cool. If he was ever cool, I like. I would go on and find out that he would be used in animated stuff, and I would seek that out just because Guy was used. Batman Brave and the Bold, when eventually he's in like the later parts of that, I checked that out just because Guy Gardner being involved in that. I was like, oh my god, Guy. Yeah. And he was such a jerk in that show. And I mean a real jerk. He was like the worst. But I still loved him. I still loved him. This is to be a two-parter. This is one of two for Guy Gardner. And it's called Collateral Damage. If you guys don't understand why I say collateral damage that way, you would have to find out that there's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie called Collateral Damage. Guy Gardner, Collateral Damage, Part 2 of 2. This cover is sick. This cover, this one, awesome looking, amazing. Just the breaking of the lantern there. Like I would say that that this cover really struck out to me as one of the ones where like immediately when I saw it, I'm like, I have to get this story. I have to. For how the cover was so appealing, and I was like, Guy Gardner and his story. Like, eventually, Guy goes on and does a weird, wacky number of things. Eventually, with his character, eventually he goes on and he becomes that like warrior character that has all the weird, goofy designs upon him. And I know people are to be like, man, that was crap, that was goofy. But I collected those comics also just because I was like, oh, I just liked Guy. No matter what he was doing, I liked what he was doing. This is a giant Green Lantern 80-page annual, where it has even the Pink Lantern here, Sinestro going on and having that kind of blue, kind of different costume than him just being a red, a yellow or green lantern, which was kind of interesting to see his character over the years kind of just change over time. And then we have Flash here. Yeah. Scott Allen here. Yeah. Always was to go on and enjoy the early runs of Green Lantern, as well as also just finding these very unique covers that was like, oh my god, these are so beautiful to look at. So getting back into this, so kind of worried that I'm gonna hurt this cover. Green Lantern number 52. I'm sure a number of people who are Green Lantern fans probably have this in their collection. Gotham and Glam, I had gone on to watch quite a bit of her videos, and she had mentioned some key covers of importance to her, and this was one of them. And it's like, I agree. This freaking cover is just, oh my god, this cover. And then I read the story, and I was like, okay. Like, it was fine. It's fine. But man, that cover, just man, like if they were to homage anything, I think they should really to have homaged more of this, more often. I would have collected all those covers, um, but they didn't. I wish that would have been a more key thing. Ooh, we're getting to a beefy one here. So this one, I think this was probably one of the more expensive books that I'd ever gone on to get. This is Green Lantern number 59, and this is the first appearance ever of Guy Gardner. First ever appearance. I was so worried about reading this comic book because of how expensive it was to get it. But I did go and put on a pair of gloves. Some gloves that were to like be able to read comic books without hurting them. And I thumbed through this story. And with this being the first ever appearance of Guy Gardner, it's honestly kind of disappointing. Because the whole story is just like, in an alternate timeline, if only Guy Gardner would have gone on and become Green Lantern instead of Hal kind of story. Like, that's how they kind of write this book. And I was like, okay, this is so strange to see this like, but man, this cover, maybe beyond this cover here is to probably be my top ever Green Lantern covers. Immediately when I saw it, I'm like, I have to have this. Besides it being the first ever appearance of Guy Gardner, this cover looks incredible. So this would be forever a key to me, of just like, I loved this cover, regardless of maybe what the price, but yeah, I love this cover. Anyways, now we have a number 86 Green Lantern Green Arrow, and here's where we get into the more drug story. I don't know how much of how I should say about that, but we have, I believe, Speedy ends up going on and ends up getting mixed. If you don't know who Speedy is, Speedy, I think, is, and it's been a long time since I've read this story. Speedy is to be a sidekick of Green Arrow, and eventually he comes into being tempted by drugs. And eventually, at some point, like, I think they do go on, and they do have, like, Green Arrow stories where eventually Green Arrow gets into the temptation of taking, like, superpowered drugs to, like, keep him going. Smallville does that at some point. And then eventually he kicks the habit. But it's very reminiscent of a story like this. So, if you are to be a Green Arrow fan, like, these books are obviously, like, go-tos. Number 88 from Green Lantern. This is, I think, the first, maybe this is the first ever? Secret of the Green Lantern Mystic Oath. What is the mystery of this summon from space? I think this is the first ever Hal Jordan, Scott Allen team up, I believe. Because I wanted to collect all of those covers where both Hal and Scott were on the same cover. And this was one of them. So I knew I was never going to be able to go on and collect any of the early Scott Allen stuff because that is rare and expensive. And so I at least wanted to go on and eventually find keys of Scott. And obviously this cover is going to be one of them. Green Lantern number 133. I'm not sure why I have this. Plus New Adventures of Other Worlds. Green Lantern, you are but a plaything in the magnetic hands of oh, that's why. Polaris. Polaris. I remember Polaris very well at some point in the cartoon or the animated series. Late in the game. I think of like Justice League Unlimited. They had like Dr. Polaris, and eventually he was to kind of be thwarting the heroes. And I think that's why I went on and collected this book. Just because like, okay, Polaris is kind of a really very interesting character, and I just wanted to just kind of get more books about him. So I was like, why do I have this book? And then immediately when I saw the name of Polaris, I'm like, oh yeah, the magnetism guy. I'm like, oh yeah. Green Lantern, number 157. It says Starkill on here. A more outer space action with the Green Lantern Corps. This is a fascinating cover. Fascinating. The fearsome return of the Hector Hammond. Oh, I think this might have been the very first appearance of the. If you guys had seen the Green Lantern movie, you of course would know Hector Hammond from the movie. The guy that ends up having the massive head that has the psychic powers. I think this might be the first appearance of this character. Regardless, ultimately of people's distaste of maybe this character, I don't care. Like, dude, I'll whatever key most important books of Green Lantern, I'm gonna collect them. Green Lantern number 171. This is a kind of be an interesting kind of just Green Lantern flying, and then you just have this massive face of just Hal here. Don't know why. Don't know why this appealed to me, but it did. All right. Oh, we have all the green. Yeah. 184 Green Lantern. This has John, Hal, and Guy all together by a lantern. Eventually, I read this story, and I'm like, this is clickbait. I don't think this is a good enough story. But I was like, you get 3 lanterns in one cover? How rare is this gonna happen? So I obviously I had to pick it up. I had to. Oh, I think this is the very first appearance of John Stewart here. 185. Special origin issue, featuring the stunning return. But that would be telling. Yeah, so I want to say that this is the origins. Yeah, I think this is the origin story of John Stewart. And now this top issue, Green Lantern. Just honestly, this character is very beloved. Seeing him in Justice League and then Justice League Unlimited, and falling in love with the character, and then wanting to go on and find him in comic books was just like, heck yeah, I'm gonna find more about John Stewart. And also eventually seeing him in stuff like Static Shock at some point, I think was him also being in that show as well. But yeah, like, and it was interesting to eventually see that John went on to become his own separate. I think it was the Violet Green Lantern, Violet, not violent, Violet Lantern, and that was so fascinating to me, to see John get his kind of like unique color to him. But like, I never really heard much about that, of why that really mattered. But it was fascinating to me to see that kind of different thing. Oh my god! I didn't know I had this. I didn't know I had this. So I made a whole thing about this also. I had gone on to watch Gotham and Glam show this cover. And I was like, oh my god, how do I not know about this cover? And I bought it. I bought the cover. I didn't know. I didn't remember this at all. Wow. This is surprising. Yeah, DC Comic Books presents Green Lantern. Wow. Power Rings for sale. I didn't know I had this. How did I have this? How did this not stick out to me? I said, like, I even said in the comment section how amazing that cover looked and how unique the idea was. And how is it that I didn't know I had this? Shocker. I don't know what I have. I obviously have no idea what I have. I still don't to this day. Green Lantern number 3. So we have Hal punching out Guy Gardner. If you guys are to go on and think that I'm to not want to go on and get a book like this, God, this cover looks, salivating. Just over this one. A Guy and the Gnort. The last the last Guy Gardner in his first solo adventure. Green Lantern number 9. I honestly collected this book because, one, Green Lantern, but then also the guy that's to be at the bottom of the thing there, Gnort. Gnort, I'd gone on and seen him at some point get used in certain things, and I'm like, okay, I need to find more about Gnort. Where was he ever used? And then I'd find out he was used in this story, so I'm like, and also how Guy was giving his first ever kind of solo event. I'm like, yeah, like, too good to be true here. I had to collect this book. Issue number 10. More Guy and his Gnort. Just, this ends up getting weird and strange, but I'm just like, but I need to just keep collecting it because Gnort. Yeah. So I just kept finding these. Number 11. Guy Gardner versus the Green Lantern Corps. We just keep going on and on with this. Number 13. Oh, we didn't get to 12? No, wait, what was the last one? Yeah, we went right from 11 to 13. How disappointing. Well, of course we had to go to this one because we have all 3 of the Green Lanterns in one cover, so we had to get this one. 3 Lanterns, 3 in their first double-sided spectacular. So we were clickbaited to this one. Yeah, because the cover, yeah, God, this cover is delicious, though. This cover is delicious. Just give me all the nourishment, this cover. All the nourishment of just, oh. Alright. Green Lantern issue number 15, Mosaic, part 2 of 4. Oh, I didn't get the first one? How disappointing. I think this is when they started to again, this is another Jon Stewart run here. I looked at this cover and I was like, wow. Just the colors that they were just putting in here was just breathtaking. Breathtaking. That's why I have trouble really deciding to say what are like the best covers, because it's so hard to narrow down, because there's a lot of stuff where I'm just like, oh man, like this looks just so this just there's points where there could be some really key things going on here, but then also there's some just unique one of a kind covers that just take my breath away. So here's where we have, and I think this is the reason why I tried to collect this as much as I could, because this is of course the story where Jon quits being a Green Lantern. I'm out of here. This is 4/4, so that's why I collected this issue, because yeah, this is where Jon kind of decides to call it quits for being a Green Lantern. Green Lantern issue number 19. Okay, we have 19 and 20 here. Where do I sign up? So we see all three of the guys again clickbaiting me, and then we have a huge thing of Scott here. So you really were working overtime there. And then we have like Kilowog, if you see the orange guy at the corner here, with this woman just kind of thrusting her arm, almost armpit over Hal here. Green Lantern Lovers Reunion. This is issue number 22. Star Sapphire's back. Oh, okay, Star Sapphire. So, Star Sapphire and Hal have had a huge history. Eventually, Star Sapphire becoming the pink lantern, the violet lantern. I'm trying to think of the perfect thing here. Eventually, you'll go on and to maybe see an anime movie where Green Lantern is to eventually be tricked, and fear gas will be surrounding him. I think it's Justice League Doomed, where the contingency plans all play out for all the Justice League members, and Hal's contingency plan is to bring in basically Star Sapphire, and that is his real true weakness, is Star Sapphire. And eventually he goes in the cave to try to save her, and he realizes that like her going on and becoming evil, or her fighting against him, that's his greatest failure as to have been Green Lantern. And just the emotion that he gets in that whole movie is just it's great. But yeah, so I really wanted to go on and collect some things of Star Sapphire, because of how I really wanted to go on and find out more about this character. So Star Sapphire faces off against Jon Stewart in this book, issue number 23. So we see Jon there in the corner. It's payback time is the thing that's read here. Cool. Just I love me some covers that give some space adventure here. Ooh, we have Kilowog on the counter and a bunch of Green Lanterns here. Green Lantern number 34, I Want Answers Now. Hal forcing the Guardian to give him some answers. We have a good cluster of lanterns here to be some unique things lending to this cover here. Ooh, we have Emerald Twilight, issue number 1. Or if it says 1, or Emerald Twilight is issue number 1. This is Green Lantern number 48. The Resurrection of Coast City. Oh, this is the... Ooh, yeah. So, if you guys do not know, at some point, Hal had completely lost Coast City. And eventually Hal ends up getting power hungry because of his loss of his city. So he goes on and he hunts down all the other Green Lanterns to collect all the rings and goes after the power battery because he just becomes power hungry. Because all he's trying to do is to go on and recreate Coast City with all the power he possibly has. But then the further and further we realize that Parallax is kind of taking control of him, which is Parallax wishes to have the power of fear. So Hal goes on and is to, within this story, eventually die and eventually become the Spectre and eventually become resurrected. And but this story, when it kicked off, I'm like, I need to read every single book. This story, out of everything that Green Lantern has ever done, greatest thing ever. Ever. And I don't care if you're telling me Blackest Night is greatest story. No. This here was so good. So good. Just seeing this story all play out. Oh, yeah. Emerald Twilight number 2, Green Lantern 49. This is the cover. The greatest Green Lantern cover of all time. Right here. Easily. I may have said that I liked other things, but this is the best ever. This is the cover that everyone should collect if they can. Because this one... And then going into the story, going into the book, I'm like, doesn't disappoint. So... Hal going after Kilowog, Hal going after all these lanterns the way he does, and just takes him out. And just like, just this story all played out. Emerald Twilight number 3, the Green Lantern, it all ends here. Green Lantern number 50. Here's where we start to see that Hal is to get more power and he looks more parallaxy. And yeah, these covers, it's a fight of just like of which one is to be like the just like fighting for real estate here. And then we have Hal Jordan is the Spectre number 1. And this is before Rebirth. Or roughly Rebirth? Anyways. Yeah, here's Rebirth. So this is Rebirth before they did the Rebirth thing. And everybody kind of laughs at it because when DC did the whole run of Rebirth, they're like, but Green Lantern did it before you guys did. And it's like basically stealing that idea. But it is kind of brilliant because when you think about it, like this thing was a big story, uh, and I've I think I read Rebirth probably more than once, but because of how good it was. This is Rebirth. Just when Hal goes on and becomes a Spectre, how he's at the baseball game with Guy and Stewart, and all of a sudden everybody is like confessing things to him, and he realizes how uncomfortable things are getting, and he realizes he has to leave the baseball game. Like, oh my god, just that alone was to just be like, oh my god, like this is so weird, like seeing this Spectre character, and this book definitively made me want to check out the Spectre a lot more than I ever did. Besides that, Spectre Showcase. This story was like, this Spectre is going to be the most important character I ever read in DC comic books, and it all came from this book, from Rebirth, easily. So now we have the clickbait. Green Lantern issue number 1. We have a cover that has Kyle on it. Kyle Rayner. This is Kyle, the guy who has to wear a white and black costume. I never liked that design at all. I hated that design. And to see at some point where this costume ends up getting used in some big stories, like I think Tower of Babel, Kyle was in that also. With the white costume, like, God, I hate that costume. I just do. But if anything, yeah, we have Hal, we have Scott here, so immediately I'm like, I'm picking this up because we have 3 lanterns in one book again. And I think I did read this one, and I was kind of disappointed in this one too. Just because of just, I don't know, it just felt that I was gonna think that I was gonna get a team up, and I wasn't really satisfied. Retroactive 1990s. This is a one shot, and this is Green Lantern. This looked so cool, and it made me think that Kyle was going to be a really interesting Green Lantern. And I wanted so much to like Kyle. And think that he was going to be so unique. I liked the whole fact that he was an artist. And just every time that I try to pick a Kyle book, besides when eventually they did the New 52 and they did that whole separate Kyle story, that separate Kyle story, I was to fall in love with. I really did like it. And if you really want to find the best, I think Kyle book, I think that was it. Every time outside of that, every time I was to pick up a Kyle book, I was like, like I was very lukewarm about it. I just found like a Kyle Rayner book for just something to read, but there was not much of real Kyle that I really cared. I really gave a shit about. It all begins here. All new Green Lantern number 51. This is where Kyle goes on and kind of takes over. I think in this, where Kyle ends up getting this ring, I think it's a different ring other than all the other lanterns before. I think he has a unique ring, I think. I think at some point there was a time where there were Green Lanterns rings that would just go on and they would depend on the lanterns, and then there would eventually be at some point where other Green Lantern rings would just recharge over time, which is weird. So I'm not quite sure if Kyle's was the one that does that, but eventually I think there were some different things going on with Green Lantern's rings at certain points to just be different and stand outish more than others. But also I'm trying to figure out if I'm getting that right, because Green Lantern, the team up you never expected. This is Green Lantern number 100. Hal and Kyle. Obviously, I had to pick this up. How I was gonna be like so amped about this story, like yeah. Plus 100s, like I think always for 100s, like zeros and ones are like to be smart to just kind of be collecting them. But I think 100s are always have really great covers, as well as also they have like, if all the other kind of covers or all the other stories were just kind of like vanilla, like at least 100 would actually be a really good story, I think, most of the time, or have a good color to or cover to be a collectible thing. Green Lantern number 140. It's not easy being green. Another Scott versus Kyle story here, so of course I'm gonna collect this one. Yeah. I want to say everything about these covers, like it was a profound story or something like that, but I really don't have as good as memories I would love to about all these. Because eventually my mind just goes into Blender at some point, or my life becomes a blur because I have so much going on, or eventually I have just so many things to just kind of keep in my brain. Green Lantern number 141. This is a really interesting looking cover. One down. Yeah. So yeah, I did try at least to collect some Kyle stuff. I really did make a point to. Here's where Kyle has a very different costume here finally. Green Lantern number 153. So what have you been doing since high school? I think. Oh, so this is a reunion book. The girl here I think was Scott Allen's daughter, and eventually she kind of had this like poison ivy thing about her, and then eventually she became a Green Lantern. And I was like, man, this character actually is pretty cool. I believe her, like, she's like Star Sapphire or something like that, or she has that kind of moniker or something like that. And then she also kind of briefly became this like Green Lantern. Uh, Star Sapphire. It's yeah, I'm trying to think if that's right. Uh, I read this cover, this book, and it was goofy fun. Yeah, but it was all about like the class reunion thing, uh, and I think Kyle was kind of hesitant about going to his class reunion, and I think he was kind of talked into it, from memory. Grasping at straws here. Green Lantern number 161, The Passing the Torch. So, yeah, so we have, if you didn't see already, yeah, I really liked this character. I wish, that she would be used in comic books today, but since, Scott Allen is being Earth 2, yeah, it kind of really just has forced, to kind of retcon that character. Yeah, it's too bad. Uh, but yeah, obviously John Stewart being on this, Kyle Scott, Guardians, yeah. it's so many temptations to cover or to grab this book. Then we have a Green Lantern #1 from 2005. If I had not already gone on to say that Green Lantern ring thing is to probably be the best Green Lantern comic book cover ever, this would probably be a third or second, maybe. This looks so cool. So cool. I love how it feels much more painted than like the normal look of most comic books. Maybe second would probably be honestly that first appearance of Guy Gardner. Regardless of the story, I don't care. I think probably after that, then we'd probably go through like, did you probably just say like just Blackest Night? Every single one of the issues would just have its own category of just being on the list at a certain number, because all the covers are just amazing in Blackest Night. When it comes down to the actual full focused story there. This was really cool also. This was interesting looking also. I don't know why they have to go on and do these kind of severely zoom in. I don't know, at some point they do so many comic book covers that they just randomly just check out stuff like this. Didn't I just have this somewhere? Yeah, I just on the other video I just talked about this. I guess I have two of these. Didn't know. Green Lantern #3. Yeah, because I mentioned about Manhunters. They're like, yeah, cool, Manhunter. I guess I have two of this. Maybe bizarrely it's one of those where I got two of the same book, because that happens more so. Not that I buy the same cover accidentally. There's sometimes where they'll ship me like two of the same book, and I'll get that consistently. I don't know why it happens, but it happens. But hey, it's not. Oh well, like Green Lantern #4, Hammond. I got it because of the movie. Obviously, this cover. Oh, here is the Green Lantern issue #9. This is to be the Batman getting the Green Lantern ring cover. This book was amazing, and I think this cover specifically is pretty pricey. From memory of needing to get it, because I'm like, as soon as I saw this cover, I'm like, I need to have this, and I think it was pretty pricey, I feel, but I'd have to look it up now to see if it's worth anything now. But when I was to try to find this, it was really hard. I think there might have been a variant of this. I'm not sure. Or maybe this is the variant. I don't know. But if anything, yeah. This was a key book that did not disappoint. Having Batman get this Green Lantern ring, like, oh, how was that gonna work? Plus also there's a whole story about Bruce actually going on and becoming a Green Lantern. So it's separate from this. But yeah, there's I think I have both stories for how important that was to me to get that, because for how everybody's hearing like, yeah, Batman getting a Green Lantern ring, best story ever. Green Lantern #16, Scott and Hal teaming up again in a cover. Oh, so that Batman Green Lantern cover, just yeah. if anything, I could probably say that that cover is probably a top 10, probably somewhere in there. This is a Abensor story, number 17. And I'm not quite sure if this is Abensor or if this is Abensor's son. I think it probably is Abensor. I want to say that I'd read this story. And I did think it was good. But it's been a while. Because immediately I was like, well, hey, what's going on here? Like, why is Abensor a bad guy? And then I'd read it and I'm like, oh. So now we have a homage. If I had already mentioned about that multi-ring Green Lantern thing being like the best comic book cover, we have a homage going on here. Green Lantern number 23. Hal wearing a bunch of yellow rings, as well as also the green one. This one, when I saw this, was like, the Sinestro Corps War number 6. I don't know if this is a variant or not. I want to hope that it was a variant. But yeah, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I need. How could I not need this effing cover? Oh my god, was that great. Ooh. So this is Green Lantern number 25. This is supersized finale. Evidently it was signed by somebody. This is the Sinestro Corps War number 11. Yeah. This cover looks awesome. And it does seem to have a certificate of authenticity of it being signed by somebody. So I have a signed copy of this book. I don't know why, but I have it. I don't think it has much value, but regardless, it's to be signed by Ethan Van Sater? I have no idea. This is in 2008. It was signed. Sure. I don't hold much of signing things to much of high need or whatever. I just every once in a while will find a comic book that has randomly a signature. I'm like, okay, hopefully that matters at some point. Green Lantern number 34, Secret Origins Part 6. Looks like we have Hal and Sinister facing off against Atrocitus here. Cool looking cover. I don't know if that was to be the first appearance of Atrocitus. I want to say that, but I'm not quite sure. Green Lantern number 41. Oh, man, the prelude to Blackest Night. So here's where we have Hal, who is to be blue and green. I think there was a story where Hal goes on and becomes like multiple colors of the spectrum. Supposedly, I think I want to say the worst besides red and green as a combination. I think there's something going on with both blue and green that there's some significance to that. I'm trying to think of what it is. That maybe a Green Lantern becomes ever powerful if blue and green are combined together. I know blue goes on and they can cure a Red Lantern of him having a Red Lantern ring, and that I thought was rather interesting to see that going on. But anyways, let's move on here. Ooh, we have Star Sapphire. Blackest Night Blackest Night Green Lantern number 45. We have Star Sapphire against Sinestro here. yeah, I just gone on to say about Sapphire with the girl who was green with Kyle Rayner, and my bad there. I think there was some kind of Sapphire or some kind of something going on with that girl. Um, I know there's some significance to that girl's name, but I don't remember what it was. I probably gone on to say in some comic book video I did at some point somewhere, but it's been so long uh since doing that. So correct me in the comments below what I had said in the past in some other comic book video. If you go on, you rewatch that, because it's yeah, it's um bit of comic book knowledge is fading at some point in my mind. Blackest Night, Green Lantern number 46. This is a great looking comic book, and I have two of them. And I have two of them. Of course, yeah. Man, make it a killing because they just keep going on and they keep giving me duplicates. I guess they really just wanted to get rid of this book, right? Uh, Uneasy alliances, yeah. All these characters working together and they hate one another. Yeah. Ooh, we have Sinestro and Hal working against, I think, yeah, it's definitely a Black Lantern here. Ooh, Adam, so this is Blackest Night, Green Lantern, issue number 47. Abensor returns. Yeah, so I read this and I was like, oh yeah, Abensor. Again, Abensor was the best friend of Sinestro. Sinestro goes on and on about how great Abensor was. I think at some point there was a thing where Abensor goes on and captures Despero in some animated something somewhere. So I'd seen that. So Blackest Night, Green Lantern number 48. We have a bunch of blue lanterns on the cover here, so, and a bunch of yellow. I had to go on and get it just because of the blue lanterns in a cover. Didn't really have much thought beyond that. Blackest Night number 49. This is Green Lantern. You have John Stewart and he's surrounded by skulls. What easy way can you clickbait me into thing? Just have skulls on a cover. I'm easily clickbaited into that. Blackest Night, Green Lantern, 50th issues. Parallax's rebirth. They're bringing back Parallax. Probably makes sense when you really think about it. Because, yeah, figure all the clickbaiting mechanisms you can go into. Blackest Night, Green Lantern number 51. Parallax facing off against all the other all the lanterns here. This is all the spectrums. We have Atrocitus, Sapphire, Sinestro, even the gold greedy gold greed lantern going on facing off against Parallax here with, I think, Necro in the background. Oh, Brightest Day. Brightest Day number 54. Green Lantern. The City of Great Rage. This is an amazing looking cover. It has Dexstar here on the cat, the blue cat. I even have a plush of Dexstar. That's how much I really love this character. And I read this book, and actually, it's not bad. It's not bad. So yeah. So really did like me some Red Lanterns. And that story started it off. And following up, Brightest Day, Green Lantern number 55, Green Lantern versus Lobo. Yeah. When Lobo was to go on and be within the Green Lanterns, I was like, I love Lobo. I love Green Lanterns. Let's see this all play out. So yeah, like, I really wanted to check out all these books because of that factor. So, ooh, yeah. So, if I had gone on to mention about the homage, about how I wanted them to go on and do something, Green Lantern number 60 did that. They homaged. They homaged. We also get Brightest Day, Green Lantern number 60. So we get this. I think this, I want to say that this could probably be a variant cover. And then this is the original. So I got both. Maybe I want to. When was this done? Because it says 75 on it. I'm not sure. I don't want to throw that out there and probably be wrong anyways. Oh well. Alright. So, but I'm sure probably a third of this video I'm probably wrong about everything. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Brightest Day, Green Lantern, number 62. And again, this is another duplicate. Because I have, again, so many duplicates. I don't know why I have two of everything. I don't think it's a bad problem. I think I got a 2-for-1 going on here. But again, maybe they really wanted to get rid of these books. So, oh well. Part 1 of the War of the Green Lanterns. This would be issue number 64 of Green Lantern. Immediately when you get a big, huge thing like this where it's just a ton of characters all in one thing, yeah, I have to pick up an issue like this. I read that, so all these issues, they're to look so unique, and this is the 66. So I read these issues and War of the Green Lantern's Aftermath, issue 1 of 2. Hal goes on with all the lanterns behind him. It's kind of interesting to see a cover like this because of how here's I think Jessica Cruz is right there. It's interesting to see a cover like this because eventually you'll see so many lanterns that they couldn't have been bothered to focus on all that much. It's true. We now have a hardcover here. This is Green Lantern, Rage of the Red Lanterns. We have this hardcover here. I want to say that maybe this one's the story where maybe Hal goes on and gets every specter of color. Maybe, I don't know. I know that this is probably the first thing that I grabbed. That hardcover was probably the very first early thing that I ever gotten for Green Lantern stuff out of everything that I got as far as this collection starts off. I think that was the earliest one. This is a free comic book day Green Lantern special edition. This is to also have a Flashpoint preview. So free comic book day. I probably got this for dirt cheap. So huzzah for me. Green Lantern issue number 0. This is when they brought in a drastically different Green Lantern. And in all honesty, I read this book just for the new Green Lantern, which is this guy. And I don't remember his name at all. No, nothing about him. Nothing retained. This character, after going on and trying to find so many books of him, just... This guy, I'm like, this guy's gonna have a very short shelf life. I'm not going to care about this lantern at all. He's not unique enough. Like, he wears a mask, and I just don't care. I just, like, there's nothing about this guy that I was going to remember. There's nothing profound about this character, sadly enough. And yeah, it's just, I don't know why they decided to eventually bring in this character and focus on him when they could have gone on and made more of a prominent Green Lantern female character. They could have focused on that. They could have gone on and had any characters that have already been set up to be yeah, they could have gone on through a number of different things there. Oh, here's a variant of Green Lantern number 1. I think this is like a second or third, somewhere the later variants, because I couldn't get it at number 1. I think that's why I got the Sinestro volume, because I was kind of worried that I was going to be able to get much variants of because these I think were really expensive. I want to say that this is probably a variant of this, because of how expensive they were going to be, because how everyone was grabbing these books. Green Lantern number 1, yeah, The Rise of the Third Army prologue. And this is Green Lantern number 2. So they do set up yellow lanterns here. Sinestro is fighting them. Very, very unique cover here. Number 3. Yeah, so I think I read the volume book and then I really liked the cover, so I in turn was just like, Number 4, Green Lantern. Number 5, Sinestro and Hal sharing a cover here. I wish every one of these I had like a takeaway from all of them, but yeah, it's like I said, it's just becomes a big massive blur about what all I read. And also, like, there's a lot of comic books where it's just stories just kind of fade off in the existence because of just, this is 7. Just because of how unimportant they eventually are to kind of be. Versus like, okay, this is filler. Well, not, I wouldn't say necessary filler, but like, number 8. There's nothing impactful about the stories. Green Lantern number 9. This is Drowning in the Madness of Black Hand. Necron. I wanted to so much say that Necron coming back here was going to be really good for the story, but nah. Just like they were trying to just clickbait you for how good Blackest Night was. Green Lantern number 13. Rise of the Third Army. Yeah, so yeah, I really loved this cover, as well as also this one's kind of a wraparound. I wanted so badly to like this newer character, but I just didn't care for him at all. I didn't care for him at all. Green Lantern Corps number 1. This is from 2006. Interesting bit of cover here. We have Kyle and Kilowog. I think this is Jessica Jones or Jessica Cruz. Trying to think who any of the other characters are here. Yeah, most of them. Issue number 2, Green Lantern Corps. I like these covers because they were doing something unique with them. To kind of showcase the character. Ooh, guys in this cover. Like, I thought that this Green Lantern Corps issue stuff that they're doing here, I think was actually pretty good. What they're trying to do. This is number 3. Some interesting covers here. All right. Plus, also, I'm doing this video, and I just did another comic book thing, so I'm just kind of... I'm talked out about all these comics. I really am. So it's just kind of like, well, like, what can I say that I haven't felt like I've already, felt that I've already said like a million times already. Anyways, so Green Lantern Corps number 4 here. We have Guy, and he's resting and relaxing. Then eventually he's gonna get some swords come flying at him. The thing that I honestly liked about Guy, which made him unique, is giving him that bar. I thought that was kind of fun. Green Lantern Corps number 6. Kind of a unique Green Lantern in the corner there besides Guy. This is a cool looking cover, but yeah, it's just... just the story. All right. Green Lantern Corps, Ion versus Superman Prime. This is number 18. Interesting. Interesting cover. Just keep going here. Green Lantern Corps, number 19. This is the Sinestro Corps War Epilogue. And I apologize if if any of my hood or whatever. It's definitely not because I am gonna say anything like bad about these covers or whatever. No, it's just like I'm just like ugh, like I'm realizing that doing one comic book video is uh one is to take a lot out of you, and I've gone on and done countless videos of just reviewing things for hours on end, and like those will tire me out. But um it has been quite a few days since covering any videos just because of the technical problems I had. So anyways, let's this cover looks cool. Cool. Um yeah, unique. It has a barrage of characters in here. That's like I think that was their strategy for these ones. Like each one of them had to definitely give you a group shot every time. This is number 25, Green Lantern Corps. Don't mess with the core. All right. If I can just be pleased by covers and nothing else, then these would definitely be doing that for me. The Eye of the Beholder, number 27. I think this is also, I think, one of my more earliest of Green Lantern covers collected. And when I started to see stuff like this, I was like, man, this stuff can get really interesting. Blackest Night Green Lantern Corps number 42. Warning, central power battery consumption in progress. Just a lot of detail here. Just a lot of detail. Ooh. Oh, this is... So... I know... Blackest Night, Green Lantern Corps number 43, Red Lantern Guy Gardner. So, I love this story. I love this story. I love this cover. I don't know what price this was to get it, but it was worth it. This story, when I read it, and also just the cover, just like, what is this? Like, what it would, like, to say that this is not somewhere in the very top of comic book covers. From all of which that have already numbered down, like at least in the top 5. I'll try to be safe by saying that. If I haven't listed already 5 other covers that are in the top 5, I want to say that this should have been like probably somewhere in the 2 or 3s, but whatever, it is what it is. So, I loved this cover, absolutely loved it, and then it gave me a unique story that Blackest Night Green Lantern Corps, issue number 44. Okay. And, ooh. Blackest Night Green Lantern Corps, number 45. This chainsaw for this is freaking sweet. I'd gotten specifically a Guy Gardner action figure that I think has this chainsaw just because of this cover. So top 10 easily for this cover. This was amazing. To see a chainsaw being used, it just, yeah. Just this story was surprisingly good to me. And then eventually we went into starting to get into how important both Blackest Night as well as also like some of these Green Lantern stories were really good. Blackest Night Green Lantern Corps number 46. Black Ice. I think this is Killer Frost. I believe. For how like there's only so few ice characters. I think this is Killer Frost. I don't remember her being killed off though. Well, Killer Frost and trying to put the math together here, but anyways, I would love to have gotten more Killer Frost books because like I think she's a very underrated character. I don't think I ever gotten like her and Flatline. I think were characters that I think were rather interesting in their own right. And eventually seeing like Killer Frost on the Flash, I think was ultimately another reason why I was so interested in that character. Brightest Day Green Lantern Corps 50th issue. Cyborg Superman returns. Just a cluster F of all this. Just fused in this book. And also just wanting to eventually get a Cyborg Superman story, which is, yeah. Brightest Day Green Lantern Corps issue 52. More Cyborg Superman. Immortal Combat Ganthet versus Cyborg Superman. That's what it says on the bottom here. Alright. Hour and a half now. Holy crap. Brightest Day Green Lantern Corps issue number 57. It looks like we have Firestorm, Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, and I think we have what looks like a Hawkman to me, or a guy who is to basically be from Hawkman and Hawkgirl's planet. Because I know they're Themyscirian, I want to say. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. Ooh. So, if I had gone on to talk about the close-up Green Lantern cover, they did the same thing with Kyle. And he's a Blue Lantern. I think this was as a set. where I got these both at the same time, where there was the Green Lantern cover, and then there was this, so I got it both at the same time. With, I think, one person selling both of these. Green Lantern Corps from New 52, number 0. And I think I have the follow-up issue here. Number 1. And I think I have the volume book of this, so that's how much I really wanted to read up on the story and see where it was going. Rise of that Third Army again. Conclusion. Green Lantern Corps number 1. This is an annual. John and Guy getting beaten up by Guardians. Green Lantern Corps number 13. I think I got this one because another wraparound cover. Man, the one thing about the New 52, eventually they kept having these like wraparound covers, which if you don't know what a wraparound cover is, the front and back of the thing was like all one big thing. So that's why I ended up getting a lot of these kind of wraparound things, because I was to go on and think that it was so interesting, that idea. Green Lantern Corps number 21. You have Sapphire and you have Stewart on here. Easy reason for me to be enticed by a cover like that. Oh, on the bottom, it says Monsters Among Them. Monsters Among Them. You guys didn't see that. I'm sure you didn't, because my fingers are probably in the way. Green Lantern. Hero of a underwater world. It says Green Lantern, and then it's like blocked of what the other thing is. It says Green Lantern Corps. 64 pages. This is to have Alan Scott in the Justice Society of America. Gnort versus Lamplighter, Terrible Trio, Fisherman, and more, plus whatever happened to Charlie Vicker. Looked like an interesting enough cover. Okay. This is Green Lantern Corps Recharge, number 5. Regardless of what people were probably thinking about this whole Green Lantern Corps thing, when they did Green Lantern and then they did Green Lantern Recharge, I actually liked these stories. I liked these books. So, all the more reason for me to try to go on and try to collect them. Plus, they had really interesting characters, I feel. So, Green Lantern Emerald Dawn, number 1. Really interesting cover. Really unique cover. I feel, in my opinion. Even though it's just hell in space. How interesting could it really be? Brightest Day Green Lantern Emerald Warriors number 2 from 2010. Succubus to the Rage. Top 15 cover? Uh, I saw this randomly. I think I found it on eBay and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this definitely. And then I think I followed up by getting these books also. Brightest Day Green Lantern Emerald Warriors Blood Pact issue number 5, and this is issue number 6. So I'll show this one and this one. So yeah, I think the one that I just showed you and these two here, I think came in a set. So I got all of them at the same time. Because I'm like, yeah, I thought that these covers were unique, one-of-a-kind pieces, and I needed to collect them. Emerald Warriors Green Lanterns number 7. A lot of interesting bit of biting of snakes here, if you're not quite getting all the imagery here. Just kind of snakes going over these people's bodies. That's kind of what got me fascinated by it. Green Lantern Emerald Warrior number 8. We have Guy fighting Hal here. I think this is probably one of my more... out of all these collecting things, I think this one and the ones that I just showed you about, like Guy having the red blood and like the... I want to say these were probably one of my more earlier choices when I was collecting comic books. One of my more earliest choices. Green Lantern Emerald Warrior number 11. And yeah, I have 2 different versions of it. I think this was a very early Green Lantern cover choice with a combination of this one, this one, this cover probably top 20, because I think I spent all the early teens, but this is one of the just simple but effective. Simple, effective. It's like, what is going on here? I'm interested. Green Lantern Emerald Warrior number 12. Just continues to say Beast here. Green Lantern Emerald Warrior number 13. Batman and Guy Gardner equal the worst team up ever. Number 13. This comic book is so much fun. I read this and I'm like, man, this story is a lot of fun. So I would recommend it. Because this doesn't disappoint. It the worst team up ever, but it was so much fun to watch, to read this story. So I would recommend it. Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Too many people. This is Green Lantern, Green Arrow number 3. I love covers like this, where they have the huge smattering of people on it. Like, I was to just be in awe of just the detail of this and the effort put into this. I absolutely was won over. Oh. Green Lantern, Green Arrow, number 90. At last, the return of the greatest comic of all time. So I wasn't sure if I had this or not, but I know how important this cover is. So visually, I don't know how this, but like this is a key character or key cover for Green Lantern people, but also Green Arrow. Uh, but yeah, but I just have a struggle of just it not compared to all the other ones that I just showcased. It's hard to say that this is a cover that looks beautiful, but like, I'll go with top 25 maybe covers somewhere in there to just kind of say ballparkingly. It's here we have more of that mosaic stuff going on here. Green Lantern Mosaic number 1. John Stewart Battle Chaos on Oa. So I'm not quite sure if this was to all be matching up to, because I had Green Lantern Mosaic stuff, I think maybe either in the other video or maybe somewhere in this one. It's kind of becoming a blur. But I started reading this and I was like, and eventually, like, the further and further I got into it, I was like, okay, like I was trying to figure out a way of me being satisfied by this story. I'm not quite sure if I eventually got to that point. This is the Green Lantern, the movie prequel. No, the one shot. I was clickbaited by the movie, let's be honest. Avon Soar, Green Lantern movie prequel. Clickbaited into all this when the movie came out. Kilowog movie prequel. Green Lantern Larfreeze one-shot Christmas special. After reading this book, I honestly wanted them to do a Larfreeze story. This character was so much fun, and like this was just a cool. I really liked this story. It was really fun. It reminded me of the Lobo Christmas special. As far as just the fun I had reading it. Blackest Night number 6, The New Guardians. One of the better covers that again, when I say Blackest Night should be at its own kind of notch of this immediately seals that importance of just every one of the covers are just banger. Brightest Day Green Lantern, the new Guardians number 53, so it's kind of a riff on that. Green Lantern New Guardians number 0. Oh, here's the focused Guy Gardner story. And I read this story and I'm like, this is the best Kyle Rayner has ever been. This is the best Kyle Rayner has ever been. And then eventually he went into obscurity after this. Because there's very rare times where you give a about Kyle, and that's so just a waste of that character. This is number 1. Green Lantern, New Guardians. I feel that Kyle has been just wasted. Not like he's a drunk character. Like, how is it that you only go on, you care about Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner, and then have Jon Stewart get like so much stuff on telly, and there's like a random spot where Kyle Rayner was on that, but never really used. And I was hoping someday that they were going to do something with Kyle, and it just... You might as well just should do something with that character that is to be the definitive, like, hey, if you're not going to really do it, you might as well just kill him off. Like, what's the point of having Kyle there? He's just a lantern that's just... There's no traction there. Number 2. Like, he might as well be put into a team or something. He'd be better off, way better off used. Green Lantern New Guardians number 3. Because I really liked this story. And I was hoping that this story could go on and have Kyle get a fresh start, and yeah, just it didn't do anything. Didn't do anything for the character. It made me just kind of just frustrated. Green Lantern New Guardians 13 and 14. 13 here. And 14. Alright. I'm going to wrap this one up because it's almost 2 hours anyways. And then I'm going to call this this thing right now a thing. Thank you for watching these videos for however long that you could stand watching them and have me blabber about some of these issues, or just me just trying to randomly figure out something to say. I just, like, if anything, I think you could just put this on mute and just be like, cool covers, and that's about it. And not even pay attention to anything that I have to say. Because feasibly, it's like maybe just a number of people that are all to just go on and just want to just find some interesting covers, and that's good enough. Maybe not hear me blab and go on and on. Because again, I'm just kind of reaching to just try to figure out what to say here through a lot of this. So my apologies if I haven't kind of figured out or cracked that out yet. But if anything, I'm trying at least. I'm trying to figure out what best to say during these things. But anyways, I'm going to get the heck out of here so I can put this video up, and the other one I think that is uploading now. So goodbye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching these. I think in the future I may go on and do another kind of physical media movie thing, even though I put that one in and it kind of went nowhere. Uh, at some point, I hope to go on and just kind of keep experimenting here and see what comes out of this. Sailor Moon was surprisingly a video that did well, and also it seems that there's just a number of projects that are in the future be like, well, maybe this is gonna do well. So I am gonna, after doing these videos, I'm gonna kick back into getting back into reviews and also hope for the best for just continuing to get back into doing videos again, because I of course had to go on and get a brand new phone because my other phone stopped working, so I got this new phone here. So hopefully this will work. This will be a phone that I can just use for these projects, and hopefully it'll go well. So thank you for watching this. I'm gonna get the heck out of here now so I can rest, because this took a lot out of me, surprisingly. Even though I really didn't have to really think all that hard throughout this one. Well, I had to think really hard to figure out something here. Get out of here. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, everybody.